again, Jim Dowson here, your guest presenter with the Daily Templar Report. Now, it's Burns night tonight, and you may be wondering why I do not have my Highland regalia on, because I promised I would have it on. Due to for circumstances unforeseen, i.e. I can't find half it, I am not wearing it. But my good lady is promised to look it all out, and I'll have it on this week. Absolutely guaranteed, or Mr. Griffin has threatened to slap my bare legs. So make no mistake about it, I will be here in my full Highland regalia at some point this week, and I'm sorry I don't have it on tonight. But yes, Burns night it is indeed. But before we get into comments and have a wee word about Brabby Burns, let me read a bit from the good book. And we're in Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 19. Great saying. This is great, this. Confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like that of a broken tooth and a foot out of joints. Isn't that wonderful? So, an unfaithful man, if you rely on him in a time of trouble, it's like toothache. Never a truer word was said. And that's what it's all about nowadays. We need men of fidelity and integrity, and that's not what we're getting, is it? Anyway, we know the Lord will bless this public reading of his infallible, inspired, and completely inerrant word. Amen. So that's where we are. But I think that's that's a good statement, that, because I think one of the main problems is now with people today is they have no sense of honour. You hear a lot about respect, and all this stuff. It's almost like that ghetto mentality, respect. It's a load of nonsense. What we need is men with honour. And men who have honour, have respect because they respect others, because they respect themselves. And if you don't respect yourself, you cannot respect anybody else. And people nowadays will do all sorts of crazy stuff, which you think, wow, what is that person all about? There's no fidelity. There's no serious level of commitment to things, whether it be personal relationships, work relationships, religious obligations, any of that kind of stuff. It's all gone by the wayside. And I would suggest that is why society is beginning to unravel. That's it. It's beginning to unravel because of that. And I think we have to get back to a time where people take responsibility for themselves. Their yea is yea and their nay is nay. That's where we need to be. And interestingly enough, before I go into comments, a brother phoned me up from Colorado today, and he says, "Where do you get all those nice clothes you wear?" And I said, "Well, easy, eBay." I don't remember the last time I bought something new. This is a tweed jacket, an Irish tweed jacket, Donegal tweed, eBay, £30. And everything you see me wearing, genuine. And Techie man, is it true everything I wear is from eBay? Everything. Even my shoes, even my boots, everything. The only thing I buy out of the supermarket is underwear and socks. I don't like wearing second-hand underwear or second-hand socks for obvious reasons. I won't do it. So, yeah, yes, a Scotsman I may be, but there's limits. But, yes, so everything I buy is from eBay, and you can buy everything from eBay. And the chap said, it's quite important, and I suddenly realised I haven't spoken about that, so I should speak about it. There's a great thing now, a lot of people have convinced themselves that your clothes don't matter. They do matter. And I'll give you a very good example of that. A few years ago, we have a place in Spain. The Templars have a place in Spain next to the old Templar HQ. It's a nice house, and we go there and do lectures and training and all that stuff. And Mr. Griffin came over. It was 42-degree heat. Now, for British people, that is insane. It's a killer heat for us. And for a Scotsman, it's almost superhuman. Anyway, I met him at the train station. Him and his good lady wife had come over. And I was dressed in a blazer with silver buttons, chino trousers, and nice brown leather brogues. And Mr. Griffin came off the train dressed similarly. No T-shirts, no shorts, no sandals with hairy toes sticking out.
Not the hipster chinos that people make.
Yes, not the hipster chinos, normal chinos. The Americans wear very nice chinos. We were dressed like proper British gentlemen. And it's very easy to say, well, it's more comfortable to wear this and wear that. Well, it's more comfortable to not wear anything. But, that's where we're going, by the way. That's where we're going to end up. So clothes do matter. And you cannot be taken serious if you've got a Hawaiian shirt on and cargo shorts. I don't care who you are. And that's what the problem is. Just the same as people are going to church now as if they're going to work. They're dressed in any old tat. And they think it's acceptable to go to the house of God like that. But even the people who manage to put a suit on to go to church, they'll walk down the town on a hot day with goodness knows what on. We must always be careful of our appearance because we're a beacon unto the world as Christians, and especially as Templar men and women. So we must wear something that people see from a distance. They don't know your nature or your character, but at least you look as if you're a man or a woman of some kind of integrity and quality. So clothes are important. And how did I manage to do that? Because I used to wear jeans and all that stuff when I was young. I threw everything out. Everything that wasn't a nice, smart pair of trousers or a suit, I threw them in the bin. So I have no choice now but to wear reasonable clothing. And as I say, it doesn't cost a lot of money. There's a thing called eBay, which is the best invention in the history of the world, where you can buy everything and anything for virtually nothing. So there you go. Advice from Brother Dowson on this fine Monday. Right, let's get into this chat here and see who's up here. Right. Where are we? Oh, we're way up here. Oh, we have to go up a wee bit. Bear with us. I don't feel well at all today, folks. I don't feel great at all. Paul Telford, God bless you there in Liverpool. John Andrews, how are you, sir, in Ontario? Mike B. freaking A. Morning, how you doing? What's he saying there? Is there something there to can builders? What's he saying? Lift the old can builders. Oh, I lift them boulders. No, I'm a wee fella. I can't be lifting them big boulders. I'd do myself a hernia or something. Ewan Eggerstrom, God bless you. Wed Strover, God bless you, sir. Malcolm Cook, how you doing? Yeah, happy Burns night yourself. I'm going to go into that a wee bit. Andy McBride. Andy, how you keeping, mate? You getting into hospital or something? Let me know how you're doing here. I need to be a bit worried. I get very worried when I hear these things. Christopher Strid, Bartley Burkham, Naomi Ford. Before I forget, has anybody heard anything of Charon and Karen?
Yes, they've just said there. Charon's went to the hospital. He's to get, I think it's gallbladder stones.
Oh, gallbladders.
So, but they are in the chat.
All right. Well, listen, everybody get praying for them because they've been through a lot in the last few months. Good people they are. DJ Samuel, how you doing? Ralph Rowley, Peter Smith, Stuart Duncan, Jonathan Bodine, God bless you. Your flag's almost here. It's been held up for weeks on Christmas, and then the what do you call this thing? The Brexit thing, trying to get things into this country now is not easy, but the flag is done. Your Canadian flag, okay? Gary Hardwick, God bless you. Antonio Rubello, Lady Rotha, I like to see Lady Rotha in the room. Greg Howarth, how you doing? Gary Hardwick, Brian Payton, yep. Sean Smiley, God bless you. Deuce Vault there in Pittsburgh. Jacob Lewis, Conrad Broom, Malcolm, yeah, I've seen Malcolm. Troy Otto there in Florida. Mark Anthony Smith. Spoke to you earlier on today, brother. Wonderful to speak to you, wonderful. And listen, you take care. Let me just pause there a minute. Our good brother there, Mark Anthony Smith. I don't get into details, but that man is the closest you'll get to a living saint. He puts up with so much problems physically, but he still manages to find time to feed and clothe and house the poor and the homeless and all that stuff. A true, shining example of a Templar knight and a dear brother. So God bless you. And I would ask our other brothers here and sisters to pray for you, sir, because you're a very good man and you need some prayer because it's no easy. Anyway, nice to speak to you today. Stuart Bowden, how are you doing? Oh, he's in Burnley. Big Joe, how you doing, Big Joe? KT Bear, God bless you. How you doing? Who? Kit Bear. I thought it was KT Bear. Kit Bear. How you doing, Kit Bear? Nick, how you doing, Nick? Nice to see you. We're on the haggis tonight. Miss Sherry B. Neo, how do you sell that?
Rays.
Nick Rays.
Yes.
Sorry, I always find it hard to pronounce that. Stephen Squire, how you doing, Stephen, there in London? God bless you. How you doing? Old BNP man, now in with the British Freedom Party. Peter Holden, Peter Smith, how you doing? Oh, there's Karen and Sharon here. God bless you. Hope you. I was worried about you too. Wonder where you were. Scott Rash, how you doing, Scott? Robert Erickson. So I've seen something S there. Who's that guy there? Sam S, how you doing? Yeah, we're nearly then. Colette Whitney, nice to see you. God bless you. Gary Johnston, how you doing, Gary, in Alabama? The South will rise again, brother. Yes. Yeah, but John Monkman, okay, and Edward Tobler. I think we're nearly. The Scorpions in the room again. Be careful. Move it. Oh, aye, right. Yeah, keep. Dear me, gallbladder. What a carry on that is. Should be alright, but EMS Rejuvenation, Mr. Machocha, Paul Telford, good on you. The Scorpions creeping about there. And Kit Bear, I only wear vintage clothes. Good. That's all I've got as well. Most of the stuff this is vintage. I think this is 80s and 90s isn't vintage. 50s and 60s maybe, I don't know. But this is the night of Robert Burns. The famous poet, Scottish poet of the 18th century, Robert Burns. To our Irish folk on here, his sister is buried in, what do you call it, Dundalk graveyard. But Robert Burns penned the most famous and most sung song in the entire world. No, it wasn't the Beatles. No, it wasn't, I don't know who these other groups are, Van Halen. No, it was Robert Burns, because he wrote Auld Lang Syne. Yep, the most famous song in the entire world. And he's also the most popular poet in Russia. No idea where that comes from. But Robert Burns was a famous poet, Scottish poet, and he wrote things like "My Love Is Like a Red, Red Rose" and all that stuff. Very nice indeed. Now tonight, all over the Scotland and the Desperate, and I know in northern Alabama, northern Georgia, sorry, and Canada and Australia, New Zealand, all over the world, millions, if not tens of millions of people will be celebrating Burns Night, which is a night we dress up in the kilts. We have the bagpipes and we have big dinners. It's a big Masonic thing as well. All the Masons do it. And we have, brother, can you find a picture of a haggis to show our American friends? Because it's banned in America. Yes, you guys in America sell us, sphincter muscle burgers, but we can't sell you your haggis. I mean, really, for real. The Americans said it's unfit for human consumption. But you have McDonald's, really. So a haggis is oatmeal and offal. The hearts, the lungs, the kidneys, all mashed up with some oatmeal and then stuffed into a stomach bag of a sheep, sewn up and boiled. And it's a most delicious dish. There's the haggis there. And then when you cut it open, all the guts, it spews out onto your plate, and you will eat that tonight with some whiskey. And we have the famous poems. Oh, Sonny Face, great chieftain o' the pudding race. And we have all this stuff. And he also penned things like the Ode to a Mouse. Wee coorid timid beastie, what great fear lies in thy breastie? And things like that, which probably mean nothing to you. Yeah, the Americans created aerosol cheese and you ban our haggis. Where are you at? What's going on? It's outrageous. It's outrageous. But I noticed that in America, you don't eat a lot of offal, like liver. I mean, I would eat liver once a week. I like liver and kidney and heart and all that stuff. I like all that. I don't see what's wrong with it. Scorpion saying you'd need whiskey to eat that. Not at all, sir. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. I like a bit of haggis. But there we go. So to all the Scots desperate across the world, happy Burns Night. May you have a good one. Go easy on the whiskey and probably go even easier on the haggis. So there we go. What we're talking about today. Well, I want to show you some pictures first of all, because we've got a new camera, you see. And Techie Man was outside taking pictures. We're not working today because of the snow. We've got snow here and hideous freezing temperatures. So I want to just show you some of these. Have a wee look. There we go. That's how it's beginning to look. There we are. So it's not so much the snow is the big problem, it's the freezing temperatures. You can't really lay concrete and things like that and cement when it's so cold. But we're getting there. We're getting there, and it's all down to you guys. So God bless each and every one of you, and thank you very much indeed. But we're really getting there now. We're really beginning to motor on. So, we started it at the wrong time of year. So it slowed us up no end. But it's beginning to look really, really nice. So I just want to thank everybody for helping make that possible. And there's one particular gentleman, every time I switch the systems on, he's made another donation. He's just a gem of a man. And I'm even more pleased because, like my good self, he's Calvinist. So God bless you, my Calvinist friend. But listen, Catholics, Calvinists, Orthodox, Coptics, these are all welcome and these are all loved and appreciated by this order, I can assure you that. Now, I want to tell you what's been going on in Europe. We thought of this COVID thing, and I don't think you Americans understand just how much pressure we're under here in Britain and Europe. We're locked down. I was away there for a few days for Templar business and meeting with some brothers in England. Unbelievable. One flight leaving the whole of Northern Ireland a day. One flight. Huge international airport, one flight. It's like, the last plane out of... what was the name of that? What's the Vietnam War? What was the name of this capital of Vietnam? When the Americans all had to leave? Well, you remember those scenes when the Americans had to leave Vietnam, and I think it was at 75 or something, everybody's hanging on the edge of helicopters and all that. Hanoi? That could, I don't know. But that's what it's like. One flight out and everybody trying to scramble onto it. It's like some kind of dystopic nightmare. You think there was a war on or something, you know. It's like the Jews trying to get the last train out of Berlin, 1938 or something. It's actually terrifying. And then when you get to England, the airport in England, Saigon, it's like the last flight from Saigon, that's what it's like. Then when you get to England, the airport has got nothing open, nothing, not even a paper shop, nothing. You can't buy a cup of tea, you can't buy a glass of water, nothing. Everything's closed. And then when you get to the hotel, the hotel is it's open, you stay in, as long as you've got a letter saying that you're on official business. There is no chairs. You can't sit in any chairs. You've got to go straight to your room and stay in your room. It's unbelievable. But this has been happening all over Europe for a year now. 1 year, 11 months to be precise. 11 months we've had to put up with this. Everybody's off work. It's crazy. People are beginning to lose their minds. So as I thought, things are beginning to turn ugly. And people are beginning to fight back now. So I want to show you some scenes. From where is this? Belgium or Holland? Netherlands. It's from Holland, but it's been happening in Belgium, and it's been happening in Germany, and I reckon soon it's going to happen in Britain. So have a wee look at this. We've got a couple of photos. Here we go. Have a wee look at these. There you go. Yep. Yep, it's all turning. There we go. So these are scenes of riots now happening all over Belgium, all over Holland. These ones are in Holland. People are beginning to rise up, and you can see they're not hooligans or trash. They're decent people, just been pushed to the edge of endurance, and they're beginning to fight back. And I think it's going to happen in Britain very shortly, because people have genuinely had enough of this. But this is destroying countries. This is destroying people's lives and people's minds. Yeah. People begin to lose the plot. Imagine if you were locked in your house for a year. You'd go do lally. And that's what's happening with people. So, it's getting quite serious now. Getting quite serious. Yep. Is that a different city?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is happening now throughout a lot of the European countries, and I think it's only a matter of weeks before it starts happening in Britain. Yeah, they've put a curfew on, first time since the Second World War, so you're not allowed on the street after 9 p.m. It's completely mad. And I think now that you're going to get this in America big time, because President Trump's gone, and you're going to have this now. It's crazy. Yeah, you know, Kit Bear's got the right idea. We can see it, rule of law, yep. Yeah, you're right. I see Scorpion saying how are we supposed to trust these people? You can't trust them now because there is no law. Well, there's plenty of law, but there's no justice, and the two of them are very different things. I remember a man telling me that. Never confuse law with justice. They're two entirely different things. And it was getting bad now. It's getting really, really bad. Yeah, of course, Pierre is saying, and these are countries not known for their riots. Of course. These are peaceful countries, very civilised countries, not used to this type of civil disorder. They're a very laid back, chilled out country. I mean, Holland, for goodness sake, you don't get. They're all on that cannabis, that wacky backy stuff. They're all on it. They're all very cool. Now, John Monkman's saying that he sees Antifa attacking the Democrats. I don't know much about that, but that's good news.
That was last week.
Oh.
Basically, they torched. I think it was in Ontario. I can't remember.
Oh.
They torched a Democrat's
did they?
office. Yeah.
Oh.
They says we don't care who the president is.
Well, this is the thing. You've got to understand this. I was talking to a very good lawyer friend of mine today, actually, and he said, what you've got to understand with all this trans stuff and all this lefty stuff and all this equality stuff, and that, it's got nothing to do with the actual subject matter. Marxists use anything as the hammer, and I think even Lenin said, you know, Bolshevism is nothing about Bolshevism. It's just a hammer to smash the people, to gain control, to control the whole state. All these things, they don't believe in them. Genuinely, they don't believe in tolerance. They don't believe in LGBT. They actually don't believe in free speech. They don't believe in racial equality. They don't believe in any of this stuff. They'll just use whatever they need to use to smash the system, so the system is dissipated and then they can take over and impose control. That's it. Yeah, Antifa, they'll attack anybody, and they're quite right. They don't care who the president is. They just want to smash the society.
I actually have the headline for that.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. We'll see if we can find it. That's what it's all about, folks. So the quicker we learn the nature of our enemy, the better, because these people are highly dangerous, and that's what happens. So all this gender politics, no, they don't really believe in it. It's just a tool to smash the state And that's it. It's like, how many of these people, Edward Tobler there is looking for some prayers, folks, so help him out there. It's like Che Guevara. Every young lefty student has a big poster of Che Guevara in his wall. Che Guevara was a well-known racist and absolutely detested the gays. In fact, killed a lot of gay people. But every lefty's got him on their bedroom wall because the subject matter doesn't really matter. It's the ideal. That's their grasp for power is all important. It's quite incredible. Fidel Castro was another one. He had absolutely no time for certain sections of society. But, the lefties always quote him and all the rest of it. It's absolute nonsense. Now, what's this we've got? Is this the thing? There you go. Here's Antifa here saying, we don't care who the president is. They just want to smash things and do all this. There we go. Yeah.
That was hours after the inauguration.
Yeah, there you go. So what do you do with these people? And this kind of whole madness is coming about. And, my son is homeschooled, but he uses material from an online teaching, very respectable teaching establishment. And we brought in stuff the other day there. And I couldn't believe what I was looking at. This is a very respectable organisation. And this whole lesson in history was basically slavery. The legacy of Malcolm X. And compensation for black Americans because of the slavery. And when he pointed out that the first slaves were English royalists and Scottish Covenanters, white Protestants, Christians, the teacher came back and said, no, they would be perceived as slave owners, even though they were slaves, but they were perceived. Wonder why? Because of the skin colour. This is the lunacy, and this is a highly respectable homeschooling help group. Quite incredible. So we're going to have some fun with Malcolm X stuff because he was a terrorist and a black supremacist. So we'll see what happens. So my son will be getting booted out of that soon, or I'll be taking him out. Now, weapons update. Yes, backlogger swords, daggers and warriors are all leaving this priory tomorrow. Hallelujah! You should see downstairs. It is festooned with blue bags of swords, of warrior packs, of daggers. It's incredible. Because of the Brexit thing, we were about a month late in getting them in. We should have had them in before Christmas. But anyway, they're done. They're packaged up and they're going out now. They're going out tomorrow by UPS. So we'll have them this week probably. Probably have them by Friday. Quite incredible. All other items will be leaving later on this week. That's hammers, these things. What's this? A mace. Warhammer, yeah. Big double-headed axes. Letter openers, helmets, mounted knights, all of that stuff about this week. All of it. So, again, thank you and God bless you for your patience. And I just found out there, some people have been waiting for their daggers since July. I know we're slow, but we're never usually that slow, but there was a production problem with them. But for you people who've been waiting since July, God bless you. You have displayed such fortitude and patience. I am humbled. God bless you. Well, they're all going tomorrow. So, there we go. Thank you for that. It's quite incredible, actually. Right, okay, who are we saying here? Technically, yeah. These people are crazy. There's no dealing with them. There's just no dealing with them. When has the Bible been sent out? Where are we going? Kenneth Driver sent again. Kenneth Driver, what's happened with his Bible? I don't know. I'll take a note yet. I actually don't know sitting here, so I'll have to look at that when I get down the stairs. Kenneth Driver Bible. I don't know Kenneth, but I'll find out for you.
There was a backlog of Bibles that dispatched there 2 weeks ago. Remember, we went through
Yeah.
Royals, like, to get the six
The Bibles have been sent out. They went out through Royal Mail, but they can take up to 4 weeks to arrive. But I'll check anyway. Kenneth Driver Bible. They've been sent. They were sent about 2 weeks ago, so they could take another 2 weeks before you actually see them. But I'll check, Kenneth, just in case. Right, I want to just read you a wee bit today. Again, the book, and remember the second publication is out now. It's not much. It's been cleaned up. There's an extra 20 odd pages with a new preface and introduction, some extra pages of pictures at the back, all that stuff. But it's the same book, but it's slightly different cover and whatnot. So that's out. Can you put a link up for the book, because it's a new version in it and people can see it as well.
V2, yep.
Yep, okay. So it's Deuce Vault V2, Reconquista of the West. Now I want to read you this introduction to the chapter on page 123, Ploughshares into Swords. Proclaim this amongst the nations, prepare for war, stir up the warriors, let all the soldiers draw near, let them come up. Beat your ploughshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Joel 3, verses 9 and 10. It is time to shed light on some of the hard truths. We are told to be a light unto the world, but in order to shine with the true brilliance of his fire, we must look inward and build a foundation of truth based on proper doctrine. The Bible is a living document that speaks to us in many ways and has untold layers of beauty and wisdom to impart to he who seeks. The psychological and mythical meaning of the Bible stories are inestimable value, and the verses, context and prophecies of the Bible provide us with the truth and tools to criticize the liberal perversions and heresy which will be referred to in this book regarding established Christianity. As traditionalists, we do not hesitate to nail a list of sins to the door of establishment Christianity. It is not out of a lack of respect for traditional values, but rather as a desperate effort to preserve them that we draw the line in the sand. As an opening example, I want to explore a particular verse in which the meaning or misunderstanding of a single word can send the reader who has no solid foundations crumbling into soul-destroying error. And here it is. But the meek will inherit the land and enjoy peace and prosperity. Psalm 37, verse 11. We are the inheritors of a glorious kingdom. There is a constant spiritual warfare raging all around us as angels and demons fight for influence, attention, and ultimately the souls of mortal men and women. Paul tells us to put on the full armour of God. How does this reconcile with Psalm 37? The true meaning of meekness is the key. Meekness is not resignation or a passive submission to events, for there is little virtue in such a response. Meekness was once described to me in a Sunday sermon thus: meekness is a warrior king, standing with a sword raised in righteous anger against those who have betrayed him and deserve death. To swing the sword would be justified by all human benchmarks of fairness and morality. Yet the king possesses such deep strength of character, subverting his will to the will of God, that he forgives instead of punishes. This definition of meekness makes much more sense, especially when Scripture attaches this term to Christ himself. If Christ were meek, then meekness means to be both extremely powerful and extremely wise and slow to anger. Amen. And we'll end the reading there. Oh, yes. So that's that book. But now I want to show you the new book. The new book, folks. So I'm all excited about this. I love it. Look at the beautiful cover. Can you see that? Are they looking at that?
Yeah, we're looking at that.
So there you go. Here's the new book. Now, what's the full title again?
Desvolt, The Great Reset Resistance.
There you go. Desvolt, The Great Reset Resistance. And if you think this book is good, my personal opinion, of course, if you think this book is good, this one's much better. Much better. Because we're not used to writing books, so we're getting better at it. But this book was good. This other book is phenomenal. It's absolutely knockout. It's one you need. It's one to get in your diary, in your thing. It's sniffing the swords. I'm not sniffing swords, no.
No, he's talking to the guy in the cover because he's got the sword in front of his face.
It might be. Yeah, it might be. Who knows? But this is an exceptionally powerful book. As I say, this book is good. This new book is great, in my opinion. And I'm being very serious and honest with you. This book was good. Very good. And I personally think it was the best book I'd ever read. Or one of the best books I've ever read. This new book is much better. Much better. Even better, yes. Even better. It's just fantastic. It's a book full of very, very pertinent advice, stories, and recollections, and there is amazing historical stuff in it. For example, there's stuff in there, Knox's famous treatise on the first blast of the trumpet against the monstrous regiment of women, where he's quoting extensively from one of the church fathers, Augustine. So it's quite highbrow stuff in it, but there's just normal stuff in it. The persecution of the saints, persecution of Christians throughout the years. You know, it really is. It's already, if you want to just go to a book and say, Right, I want to know all about the persecution that our people have suffered from the time of Christ. That's all in there. It's incredible. And great stories of heroism and fortitude and suffering, and how people have managed to take that suffering. And we've put all this in this book because we have no doubt, that over the next coming months and years, this is going to be applied to us, regardless if you're in America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, England, Scotland or Wales, or anywhere else. We're going to come under a time of great persecution. It's already started in Europe. We've been locked up for a year. Can you believe that, folks? Locked up for a year in our homes. It's ridiculous. So there's stuff in this new book which is very pertinent to the times that we're going to face, and your children, your grandchildren will learn much and take much succour from this new book, because it will give them a sense of, okay, this is terrible, but it's happened before many times, and this is how people got through it. So this new book is brilliant, and would appreciate very much if you pre-order. It'll be out in a couple of weeks, but we want to get the pre-orders in because it helps us with the printing costs, because they're very, very expensive to you got to buy a huge batch of these books to get them printed at the right price. Because remember, again, it's hardback, it's the fancy binding and the fancy stitching, it's the same, it's all that stuff. It's all going to be the same kind of thing. So the pre-order is also of the same. The new book is the same quality as the last book, if not a wee bit better. So it helps us greatly if we can manage to get at least some of the money in before we actually get it out to help us. So if you can pre-order the book, please do so. And I'm also going to recommend that you don't buy one, you buy two, so you can give one away as part of your ministry. Because remember, Templars who've been through the ceremony are ordained people. So it's part of your ministry, it's part of your mission. If for folk that haven't, it's part of your outreach and ministry and mission in life, is to spread our message, and a message of hope and perseverance to your friends and family. So don't buy one if you can, only if you can. Buy two, buy more, and give them to people as presents. It's the best present you'll ever give somebody, and one that will live with them for the rest of their lives. So I'll leave that with you. Well, that's who else we got? Yes, and with Mr. Biden in office now and all that, YouTube and that's going to get very ropey if it wasn't ropey enough. So please follow us on the Purged. You need to follow us on the Purged. Now, after this show, in 20 minutes' time, Jada Franson, British Freedom Party, is on the Jada Franson is on the British Freedom Party. Niall McConnell, Irish Patriot, Sean Ahern, they're both on at 7 after this. I think Niall does mainly Purged and Jada does mainly YouTube. I'm not sure how they'll do. Yeah, they swap back and forward. So 7 o'clock they're on. You pay your money, you take your choice, or swap back and forward between their shows, up to you.
20 minutes time, by the way.
Yeah, it's 20 minutes time, so I'll leave that with you. And that's it from me today. Tomorrow I might try and get a guest on. We'll see how we go on. Sorry I'm a wee bit under the weather today, but as you can hear me, my voice is beginning to go and all the rest of it, which is ridiculous. But I will have my Highland stuff on at some point this week. I won't promise tomorrow, but I'll have it on this week at some point. Now, who have we got here?
This is John says Purge is not so good for me. There's been major updates.
Yes, John, try again. There's been big updates. Purged is still in the pipe. It's still in production mode. We're still in the early days of Purge, so we're constantly updating it, constantly doing things, getting more bandwidth, making it easy to watch, no lagging or buffering and all that stuff. So it's constantly getting updated. So we do have to be on there, because there's no doubt about it, we won't be on this platform forever. There's no doubt about it. So the major updates were rolled out on Friday. So try it and see how it's going now. And we'll see how we go on. Right, that's it from me. God bless each and every one of you. I'm so glad that I've seen some folk here that I was a bit worried about. And remember, there's a lot of people need prayer. It's the winter time. It's cold, dark, dank. People are ill. People are having problems. So remember, love one another. Pray for one another. We're a family here. And God willing, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, until then, stick close to God. You won't go far wrong. Cheers, Paul.